298 lives instantly erased in the vast eastern Ukraine sky. Malaysia Airlines Flight 17 on July 17, 2014, became a devastating global tragedy, changing countless lives forever. The Boeing 777 aircraft had departed Amsterdam Schiphol, carrying 283 passengers and 15 crew members, flying at approximately 33,000 feet on a routine journey to Kuala Lumpur. Its journey was tragically cut short over a conflict zone, a route many commercial planes still utilized that fateful day, above the war-torn region. The impact site near Hrabove scattered massive amounts of debris over an area of 50 square kilometers, a devastating scene of twisted metal, personal belongings, and shattered hopes. Responders faced immense challenges securing the vast crash area and recovering human remains, a somber task extending for many weeks and months after the initial event. Experts quickly identified fragments consistent with a Russian-made Buk surface-to-air missile system, suggesting a clear external cause for the aircraft's destruction from the ground. Over 11 nationalities lost citizens in this senseless act, transforming a peaceful flight into a global tragedy, affecting nations from Australia to the United Kingdom. An international joint investigation team comprising experts from 5 nations, specifically the Netherlands, Australia, Malaysia, Belgium, and Ukraine, tirelessly worked for nearly 8 years to uncover the complete truth behind this horrific downing. They meticulously gathered over 3 million pieces of evidence, interviewed hundreds of witnesses, analyzed radar data, examined flight recorders, and reconstructed parts of the aircraft. Their conclusive findings pointed towards a missile launch from separatist-controlled territory, an act of war by proxy that claimed every single life on board. Court proceedings held in the Netherlands resulted in convictions in absentia for 3 individuals by 2022, marking a significant step toward achieving justice for the victims. The ongoing demand for full accountability for every single person responsible for this heinous act persists nearly a decade after the crash. Families of the 298 victims continue their relentless fight for answers, for true justice for their loved ones, whose lives were so cruelly taken from them without warning. The catastrophic event remains a stark reminder of escalating geopolitical tensions and the devastating consequences on innocent civilians, caught tragically in the crossfire of armed conflict. This incident reshaped aviation security protocols globally, emphasizing the vulnerability of civilian flights in sensitive airspace. The human cost was immeasurable, with hundreds of families grappling with unimaginable grief and a profound sense of injustice. Metal rained from 33,000 feet onto farms. Malaysia Airlines Flight 17 victims were everywhere, a horror beyond words on July 17, 2014, as the Boeing 777 jet shattered over eastern Ukraine near Hrabove. Over 50 square kilometers of fertile land became a graveyard strewn with twisted metal, personal belongings, and human remains from 298 souls. Local villagers were the first witnesses finding debris stretching for miles, a devastating scene of impact and destruction, painting a grim picture of senseless loss. They saw mangled seats, luggage, photographs, and passports belonging to people from 11 different nations, a global tragedy unfolding before their eyes. The immediate aftermath was chaotic, with Ukrainian emergency services arriving, facing immense challenges to secure the vast crash area in a volatile conflict zone. International experts and observers struggled for access, encountering delays and obstructions, hindering their crucial work to learn what happened to the 283 passengers and 15 crew members. The scale of the recovery operation was unprecedented, requiring hundreds of personnel working for many weeks and months under extremely difficult conditions. Forensic teams worked tirelessly to gather every piece of evidence, every fragment, every personal item to aid in victim identification and the subsequent investigation. The world watched in shock and disbelief as images of the wreckage and the sheer scale of the human tragedy emerged from the war-torn region. Families of the 298 victims were gripped by unimaginable grief, desperate for answers and the return of their loved ones. The global community reacted with widespread condemnation, calling for a swift and thorough independent inquiry into the downing of the aircraft. Initial reports were conflicting, but the presence of missile fragments quickly pointed toward a deliberate act of aggression from the ground. This horrific event profoundly impacted aviation security protocols globally for years to come, influencing how flights are routed over sensitive areas. The painstaking process of identifying all the victims took many months and involved experts from multiple countries working side by side in a somber shared mission. Each discovery, each identification brought a fresh wave of sorrow, but also a step toward providing some closure for the grieving families of the 298 innocent people whose lives ended so abruptly. The crash site itself became a symbol of a brutal conflict and its devastating impact on civilians far removed from any battle lines. Every single piece of debris told a story of a journey cut short, of lives unfinished, of dreams unfulfilled, a testament to the brutality of war. The raw emotion and shock reverberated worldwide, reminding everyone of the fragility of peace and the human cost of geopolitical strife. A single missile irrevocably changed 298 lives. Malaysia Airlines Flight 17 became a symbol of aggression. The Joint Investigation Team, or JIT, assembled experts from 5 nations, including the Netherlands, Australia, Belgium, and Ukraine, pooling vast resources to uncover the truth behind the aircraft's downing. Over many years, they gathered immense evidence, including radar data from both Ukrainian and Russian sources, numerous satellite images, intercepted phone calls between separatist leaders and their Russian contacts, and hundreds of detailed witness statements from the ground. Crucially, the exact type of weapon used was definitively identified as a Buk surface-to-air missile system. Further analysis meticulously tracked the missile's origin, revealing it was transported from the Russian Federation into eastern Ukraine. Investigators painstakingly mapped its exact launch trajectory from an agricultural field in separatist-controlled territory near the village of Pervomaisky on that fateful July 17, 2014. On May 24, 2018, the JIT publicly announced a pivotal finding. The Buk missile system belonged to Russia's 53rd Anti-Aircraft Missile Brigade, based in Kursk. This was a crucial step in attributing direct state responsibility. Russia consistently denied involvement, offering numerous contradictory theories widely discredited by international experts, reinforcing the JIT's findings on state complicity. The Dutch-led criminal investigation then focused intensely on identifying the specific individuals responsible for ordering and firing the missile. In March 2020, a landmark trial commenced in the Netherlands, prosecuting 4 suspects accused of murder. These individuals, 3 Russian nationals, Igor Girkin, Sergei Dubinsky, Oleg Poladov, and 1 Ukrainian national, Leonid Harchenko, were tried in absentia. The evidence presented during the trial was comprehensive, spanning thousands of documents, forensic reports, and hundreds of emotional witness testimonies from grieving families. On November 17, 2022, after over 8 years, a Dutch court delivered its verdicts. 3 of the 4 men, Girkin, Dubinsky, and Harchenko, were found guilty of murder for their roles in the downing of the plane and sentenced to life imprisonment. Oleg Poladov was acquitted due to insufficient evidence, though his participation in the conspiracy was acknowledged by the court. These verdicts represented a significant measure of justice for the 298 victims' families, bringing some initial closure after unimaginable grief and over 3,000 long days of anguished waiting. The pursuit of full accountability continues with further legal avenues explored at various international forums, including the European Court of Human Rights and the International Civil Aviation Organization, with new cases ongoing. Families from over 10 nations, including 193 from the Netherlands, 43 from Malaysia, and 27 from Australia, continue to seek comprehensive compensation and complete justice for their devastating losses. The devastating incident prompted widespread global calls for enhanced aviation safety protocols over conflict zones, leading to new risk assessment procedures for commercial air travel worldwide, affecting hundreds of flight paths. The 298 souls lost on that fateful day serve as a constant, stark reminder of the profound human cost of geopolitical conflict and the unwavering need for international justice. Every single piece of the puzzle, meticulously collected over many long years, contributed to unmasking the perpetrators behind this heinous act of violence. The world watched as the truth slowly but surely unfolded, driven by the courage and determination of countless individuals and several nations uniting to hold those responsible accountable for the senseless slaughter affecting 11 different nationalities across 5 continents, forever altering the lives of hundreds of families and challenging international law. The immense scope of the tragedy and the determined international